So hello and welcome back to the channel. Excuse my dress sense, but I'm actually feeling slightly unwell today. Although the weather looks amazing, it's only 7 degrees. It is a beautiful day though, so I'm feeling a bit cold and slightly weak, so bear with me. We're out with the boy, Socks. Beautiful, absolutely stunning countryside just down the road from where I live, which is fantastic. So just a little film today, just talking about coaching, and this will probably come as a bit of a shock to you all, but as you know, I've been coached for the last four years now. 4 years, maybe nearly 5 years actually, 4.5 years, which has been fantastic, amazing experience, super beneficial for myself. But in the last week I've decided to go it alone, so I'm now just going to be coaching myself. And the reason behind that is not because of anything to do with the coaching strategies, because they are absolutely fantastic. They've really brought me on because of what I do professionally, time restrictions, you know, family and the general rat race. I'm super time crunched, so I've been getting amazing coaching plans and feedback for training between 4 to 15 hours a week, depending on the week and depending on my availability. However, because of a change in personal circumstances, what I have been discovering is that the coaching plans and Training Peaks, now Training Peaks is an app platform which takes your data, your power, your heart rate data, your perceived efforts, and it calculates a training stress score and basically formalizes, you know, through the reading and the knowledge of your coach, the intensities to prescribe to make the necessary adaptations to result in improvement ultimately, and so you know when to peak and when not to peak. So obviously with COVID, it's been super difficult because there are no races. I'm just Zwift racing, and Zwift racing has caused, let's just say it's fun, but it has also caused me some problems, especially in changing technologies and slight variances in power. You know, how accurate is Training Peaks in terms of racing against another rider? Personally, I'm just wanting to get back out on the road and get riding against people on a level playing field and just seeing the best man wins. You know, Zwift is great, it's great for fun, it's great for film content. You know, you can race against the other riders obviously, but you know, I've recently experienced some blips with changing new technology, and you know, sometimes I think my power's under reading, sometimes it might be over reading slightly, and you know, with your best intention of having all the necessary data, plugins and calibrations, you know, sometimes it might cause a variance which doesn't actually reflect your results. So it can either under reflect them or over reflect them, which can cause a lot of frustration if you think you're better than you actually are, or if you think you're not as good as what you actually are, which I believe has been the case with me. I've had issues with some of my technology where I believe I've been under reading power. I've upgraded all my technology and suddenly it looks like I've got this gain, not a massive gain, but a gain. But if I'm being honest, I think that's kind of where I'm at. You know, I'm 43 now. I've always been a relatively good bike rider. I did race to quite a high level in the open time trial scene from 2000 up to 2006 before being diagnosed with my heart condition. I've done some mega endurance events. You know, I've won some time trials outright against many other riders. I'm lightweight. I've got a very good power to weight ratio. You know, I don't have to produce many watts to be able to ride well because I'm quite light. I'm 5'9". I'm quite aerodynamic. I can get into a really good position, so all that matters and makes up for probably not having the biggest engine in the world. So yeah, so all good. So basically as I was saying with Training Peaks, what Training Peaks doesn't take into consideration is your mental fatigue and mental stresses on the body out with physical. And I've been finding this to be quite critical, you know, in some evenings when I've got a really hard session to do, I just cannot physically I could go that deep, but mentally I can't take myself that deep because I'm mentally fatigued, you know, with dealing with COVID, and in terms of what I do for a job, that, you know, your mind can be tired, you know, it sometimes the concentration levels to really hurt yourself and go deep can be quite difficult after, you know, a day of using your mind a lot, shall we say. So I'm going back old school. I'm still going to use a power meter, still going to use a heart rate monitor, but I'm ultimately going to use it as a tool to gauge where I'm at, not to train against. I'm actually just going to ride and listen to my body. I'm not going to pay too much attention to the data when I'm riding my bike. I'm going to ride on how I feel at the point in time of going out on the bike, and then look at the data once I get back and look at progression, or going back the opposite way. So basically this is a temporary thing I'm going to do for probably a couple of months, just to see how I'm at. You know, I may well go back to the coaching. I do hope to go back to coaching. My coach is a great person. It's been super awesome communication and great benefits, but with my current changes, as I've said, it's not that it's not working for me. I'm not getting the most benefit out of it, so I feel like I'm wasting my coach's time and also my own time, because, you know, not being able to perform in some of these sessions when I know I'm not going to be able to perform within these sessions. So basically, when I was time trialing really well into a reasonably high level, I always trained on feel. You know, I've had the fortunate opportunity to have a number of conversations with Graham O'Brien back in 2003, 2004, 2005. I've done a couple of bike rides with him when I raced for Border City Wheelers in Carlisle, Cumbria, many moons ago. And we were always talking about training and diet, riding on feel. And I was a big person of, you know, I would go out and I would like only be averaging 14-15 miles an hour, but I'd be out for like 7 or 8 hours, really enjoying it, just enjoying it, having the love for cycling. And then maybe once or twice a week I would go out on the road in some huge gear and I would absolutely smash myself to pieces and then recover. You know, I would quite often find the midweek time trials you get, I would turn up on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, whichever night it was. Oh, rabbit. And some guys would be going quicker than me, and then come the weekend, which was predominantly the time trials, usually back-to-back Saturday Sunday events, usually a 10-mile time trial on Saturday afternoon and a 25 or a 50 or sometimes 100 on the Sunday early morning. You know, I'd be finding in a 25-mile time trial I'd be taking 2.5 minutes out the people that had taken 30 seconds out of me in a 10-mile time trial midweek at the club event. So this was just down to fatigue, and what I didn't realise at the time was I had an underlying heart condition which can cause some levels of fatigue, which I still do have. So I'm super careful with how I push myself, and I tend now just to save it up. I do have the luxury, I've been able to go super deep, so when I'm on my A game and I'm in that competitive environment, I find it difficult to do it on my own. But when I turn up to a race or on Zwift or in that environment, that race environment, it's like being Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I completely change into a totally different person, and I'm able to go super deep, and I'm, you know, to the point of tasting blood. And I'm able to do that and get these great performances which aren't always perceived during my training. So yeah, so that's ultimately what we're going to do. We're going to have a break from a structured training program. I'm going to go out and I'm going to ride on feel. Now already last week I did start this towards the back end of the week. I was commuting to work, so it's about 55 minutes to an hour commute to work by bike, then 9.5, 10 hour working day depending on how my day goes, sometimes a bit shorter, sometimes a bit longer, just depends on what I'm doing that particular day. And then commute home, which is usually an hour-ish, Having said that, I have been doing it 56 to 59 minutes last week, which is pretty good. I'm using a super heavy alloy kind of cyclocross bike with two 750ml water bottles. I'm wearing a backpack and my winter clothing, so it's kitted up pretty heavy. And again, that gives me psychological benefits for when I come to race on my good bike, or when I get to go out on the road on my good lightweight carbon fibre nice aero road bike. So yeah, so we're going to see how this goes. I'll feed back on it. So we're going back old school. We're going to be racing, hopefully, time trials if they kick off, because COVID does seem to be, we'll find out. I don't want to say what COVID's doing just now, because it is a bit of an unknown, but apparently we're supposed to be coming out of the woods, so to speak, within the next 2 to 3 months, so we'll see how that goes. I'll certainly be Zwift racing and training and riding on field just now. So yeah, it's been a bit of a waffling film, but just wanted to give you an update of what I'm doing, why I'm changing my training and riding strategy, and ultimately it's about falling back in love with cycling again, because I love cycling, as you know, but I'm starting to find the programs a bit monotonous, losing the passion for it. And if the passion's going, then you're not going to perform, and I want to perform, but on my terms and conditions. So yeah, so that's us for now. That's the most recent update, and as I said in my last film, got some big news coming. There has been a slight delay, that's why I haven't announced it yet, but we've got a couple of big projects coming up which I'll be super excited to share, so stay tuned for them, and hopefully they'll be coming and happening within the next couple of weeks. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.